I saw 50 was talking about something like that in an interview recently. I hate when I think back to that time where I was at in life.
I watched 50, same. 50 did not win Best New Artist at the Grammys.
There was nothing bigger than 50.
Nothing bigger, and nobody came out the gate like that. My first album didn't do it. I never saw someone's first album and the wave happen like he had.
So they don't give you the trophies. I got the checks. I didn't get the trophies. Jay got all of my trophies, man, because he signed that contract.
What contract?
The one with Beyonce.
When he signed that contract, the marriage contract, he got trophies. He started getting Grammys left and right, man.
The kids even have Grammys. Like, they don't sing yet. They don't sing. Right. They don't rap yet.
And he ain't show up. He's like 20 now.
Yeah, asking you what's the science? What's today's mathematics?
Yeah. By the way, this isn't even my chain. I stole it from somebody. Yeah, I'll tell y'all who that was.
Uh-oh. Stealing cheese now?
Not really stealing.
Does it mean anything to you though?
Yeah, a little bit.
So, you know, you got a lot of people who are not really happy about the fact that, you know, my album is about to drop. You know, they're not really happy about, you know, Lord, give me a sign. And, you know, we in here and, you know, things of that nature. But you know what?
Eminem is stirring the pot again. And this time, he's coming straight for Jay-Z and Beyonce with no filter. He's not just backing up 50 Cent in his ongoing beef with the Carters, he's going way deeper. M is spilling that Jay and Bey didn't just ignore other artists, they allegedly destroyed careers behind the scenes. Let's not forget, Eminem already clashed with Jay-Z back when Jay tried to block 50 Cent from performing at the Super Bowl. That didn't sit right with him, and now he's speaking out more than ever.
I know what you did to Nas, Jay. That's tough. Nah, he come out on the same weekend.
Like, I used to have questions like why every time my album dropped, Jay would drop it.
And this shit coming out? My shit coming out.
I never understood that every single album that I dropped, Jay dropped right on time.
Why the fuck you do that, man? I be saying that I do whatever the fuck I want to do, and they be looking at me like I'm grimy for doing that. This could be super quiet doing some real grimy.
He's calling out the shady power plays in the industry, saying some A-listers play real dirty just to stay on top. According to him, they crush anyone who dares to shine too bright. And when it comes to Jay and Beyonce, the list of careers they allegedly ruined is wild. We're talking about legendary names, Big L, DMX, Aaliyah, all gone too soon, but there are others who didn't die. They just disappeared from the spotlight with no warning. Folks like Amiri and Carrie Hilson vanished right when they were heating up. And some people are pointing fingers at the Carters.
Put out a statement and you posted a picture, but yo, that video with Marshall and Haley.
This is so crazy. There was points that we was receiving wow offers. Like they'll go, 50 Cent Eminem, this is out for tour opportunities. He would go, nah, I just don't want to go and come back and she's grown.
I don't want to miss my daughter, man.
Right, and I'm like, yo, because I was like, yo, you didn't hear how much money they just had? Why do you want to stay here? I didn't understand it when he was saying it, but then later, like, I went to a wedding. And I'm like, yo, now I get it. Because that was fast, bro.
Marshall's a grandfather, man.
That's the part I was dealing with, because I'm like, I'm old as hell. I'm like, what the hell happened to me? I'm still in the gym, it just hurts a little bit. Right? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm still there. I'm looking going, what the hell happened? Man.
So why are big names like Eminem and 50 suddenly going public with all this? Is the Carter empire finally starting to fall apart? What's really going on behind those closed doors, and how many artists got blackballed in the process? Eminem might not be the loudest on social media like 50 Cent, but don't get it twisted. When he speaks, it hits hard. And he's got no love for artists who step on others just to stay at the top. And yes, that definitely includes Jay-Z and Beyonce.
Like, they keep showing up next to things that I don't fuck with. That's an indication to me he might have some feelings towards me. That is just everywhere I got an issue. You show up around it. So, I mean, you don't forget music. Because music ain't usually my motivation. My morals come off the curb. So if you see a keep being around nigga, when you come around, how your antennas go. So he in a position where he might feel like he's there, but he ain't there yet.
For Eminem, this ain't just some music biz drama. It's personal. See, 50 Cent isn't just a homie to M, that's his brother for life. They go way back and their bond runs deep. 50 even admitted he got emotional and cried at Eminem's daughter Haley's wedding last year. That's real love. Now, when it comes to Jay-Z and 50, their beef has been cooking for years, and it's still sizzling with no signs of cooling down. And knowing how loyal M is, it's not hard to figure out that he's probably not sending Jay any Christmas cards either. 50's always said it straight. If you ride with my enemies, you are my enemy. Simple as that.
Look, Jay-Z and them was putting it together. So I think they still harbor some energy towards me.
You think you were purposely left out of the ad?
No.
Oh, okay.
I don't think. I think that they were saying the NFL has some issues with me that I don't know what those issues are. Like, what is the issue? You start looking at that's not mine. That's theirs. They harbor it, right? But when you look at M is looking at the entire legacy.
Yeah.
The whole thing, like with M, Dre, and myself. Like I'm a shady aftermath. You see what I'm saying? Like, it do so much G-Unit Records.
Right.
They forget that I'm M and Dre's art.
Sure, M and J dropped a few tracks together back in the early 2000s, but that energy changed real fast once M found out Jay had allegedly been sneaking around, throwing shade, and trying to mess with 50's career from the shadows. Then came 2023, when 50 finally aired it all out. He called Jay-Z out publicly, saying Jay tried to use his NFL pull to block 50 from hitting the Super Bowl stage. But here's the twist. Jay's plan flopped. Eminem wasn't having it. According to 50, M stepped in and made it crystal clear to the NFL. No 50, no Eminem, period.
You have a few Grammys, but you feel like you had to sell your soul to get them. And you didn't know if you wanted it for the recognition or the trophies, but then what's the difference? You know, and that Grammys pretty much suck the blood of artists and nominate them, have them come to the shows. And
which they do. They do it every year, yeah. And I'm just tired of seeing it. And for whatever reason, it's like they're always pitching this hint that you might win Album of the Year, which used to be a big deal. I don't think it's a big deal now.
On top of everything, 50 Cent and Eminem are now tag teaming to call out the Carters over the Grammys game. These two aren't holding back. They've both accused Jay and Beyonce of using slick behind-the-scenes moves to snatch up trophies they didn't earn. 50's even straight up said Jay uses his marriage to Beyonce as leverage to rack up wins. And Eminem, he's been calling the Grammys fake for years. He says it's nothing but a pay-to-play circus, and he's not wrong for feeling played. M said loud and clear that he's done with the Grammys and he's never stepping foot in that room again.
Watch 50, same. 50 did not win Best New Artist at the Grammys.
There was nothing bigger than 50.
Nothing bigger, and nobody since maybe like Snoop came out the gate like that. My first album didn't do it. I never saw someone's first album and the wave happen like he had. And then he doesn't get it. And then I get up there another year, and what was it, the Eminem show? And it was like, whatever. I'm fine if I lose to Kanye or someone that I'm like, okay, I respect that. I know who that is, and Kanye has a huge following and he's made a massive impact on music. Fine, I'm good with that. But don't get us all here to use your selling point for your show and stiff everybody every single time. And I said, after that point in time, I was like, don't ever ask me to here again. Please do not ask me. My answer is no for 100 million years. Never again will I go to.
According to M, he wouldn't even trip about losing if the winning artist actually dropped a better album. What really got under his skin was how the Grammys hyped him up just to snub him. They used his name, his presence, his hype, all just to boost ratings, then turned around and left him empty-handed. And when someone asked if he'd ever return, maybe if he had a say in how the winners were picked, M didn't even blink. He said it wouldn't matter at all because the whole thing is rigged from the jump. The votes don't mean a thing.
Ever consider, joining a board and maybe you have a vote in it?
First of all, that vote is fake. That's not a real vote. That's not a real vote. They give it to who they want to give it to. They give it to their darlings. This got critical acclaim, but it sold 2 records. It ain't about always what you sell. I get that, Vanilla Ice, I understand. You know what I'm saying? But there comes a point where when an overwhelming something comes along that has this wave and impact on music, and you give it to Lada Dottie. Who? Lada Dottie. Sound like Lada Dottie.
But 50 didn't stop there. He turned it up even more, saying Jay's wins have nothing to do with music and everything to do with his marriage. According to Fifth, Jay and Bey are guaranteed trophies just for showing up because the second they walk in, the ratings skyrocket. And that's all the Grammys really care about, views, not talent. But 50 didn't hit the brakes, not even close. During his fiery sit-down on the Flagrant podcast, he doubled down hard, saying those Grammys Jay-Z keeps collecting, they've got way more to do with Beyonce than with Jay's actual bars. He was not sugarcoating anything. Then he flipped the script completely, and things got real messy.
He started to receive the 16 17 Grammys since he's been with Beyonce. Right? And you go, prior to that, 1.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So that came in association, like you see the kids even have Grammys. Like they don't sing yet. They don't sing.
Right.
They don't rap yet. And they already have Grammys. So it's like they give them this trophy so we secure that they're coming to the award show. It meant that much to the culture that they just gave them the things they would. Later, to me, I didn't care about trophies. I said, I'll get the
50 claimed Jay and Beyonce's marriage might not even be about love anymore. He called it a contract, straight up. According to him, the power couple might just be keeping the act alive to protect their image and stay at the top of the game. And it didn't stop there. On Talk with Flea, in an interview with Cameron, 50 lit Jay up again. This time, he accused him of still playing dirty behind closed doors, not just in music, but in the business world too. And get this, 50 said Jay has nothing left to prove, yet he's still out here allegedly sabotaging deals out of pure spite. That's wild.
Look, when Jay signed his contract, the big one was with Beyonce. When he signed that contract, the marriage contract, he got trophies. Now those fucking trophies came rolling in, buddy. He started getting Grammys left and right, man. I mean, look, if you look at his career,
This guy. You're gonna let him say that? You're gonna let him say that? Jay was getting Grammys. You're gonna let him say that?
He had one.
Exactly.
He had one.
And he didn't show up.
He had like 20 now.
Hold on.
He had like 18 since he's been down. Look, he had one, bro. Hard Knock Life.
Hold on. You're not wrong.
He was one. After that, he's like drinking his pictures with him. It's the cup.
Wait a minute. So you're saying the success is derived from the marriage?
I've absolutely been treated differently.
The accolades. Because he's no longer viewed as what, like a street or gangster rapper. Now he's viewed as a businessman, entrepreneur, family man.
And the biggest ones because of the position Beyonce's.
Oh, wow.
Right? You were connected to the biggest.
Jay got. Oh, wow. So that's the deal.
Yeah, that's the deal. Like, the other ones didn't count as much as that one did.
But here's the kicker. 50's not the only one who thinks Jay's been undercutting people out of jealousy and control. These whispers have been floating around for years. Jay's been hit with claims that he's been secretly tripping up his peers for decades. One of the most chilling stories, the one involving Harlem legend Big L, the same artist who put Jay on in the first place, fans still raise eyebrows about Jay's come up and whether it was all clean, especially when you look at the shady cloud around Big L's death in the early 90s. He was a monster in the Harlem underground scene, known for his unreal freestyle skills. In 1992, he signed with Columbia Records and dropped a dope debut album. But despite the buzz, Columbia cut ties in under a year. Why? The label claimed creative differences.
This is why I was saying I knew what old boy was doing with the Super Bowl. Because he was doing like, yeah, go ahead. He was doing some wild because he was saying that to Eminem that the NFL had the issue with me. And I'm like, well, what's the issue? Why don't I have an issue when I'm becoming a partner in the actual team, but they got an issue with my performance? Right? Makes no sense. You know what I mean?
I was going to get to that later, but since we're here now. And when he says "oh boy" for the audience that I'm talking about Jay-Z, this was discussed before. Jay-Z told Dr. Dre, just for people who's not up on this, or Eminem, that he didn't want you to perform part of that Super Bowl they had a couple years ago. Why do you think that is?
Well, I just
threatened. Possibly.
Not even threatened. You know, I think it's just when you take the competition from like our culture is competitive, man. It is, but I think when it goes past the music itself to blocking things in business, then I don't understand that. Like right now, you're not even competing for a slot. You don't have a new song out that he want to be on the top 10 or top 5, and you still competing. It don't make sense. Like, what are we competing for? What's the goal? Like this even like a lot of even a lot of the competitive stuff. What we would call it beef, right? It changed. That terminology changed when it's Biggie and Tupac, because we start saying the things that people would say that cause beef in the environment.
Right.
When before that they called it babbling in our culture.
Right.
Because that's what it is until it turns into some street shit. So when you're not competing for those things anymore, and you start looking and you're going, so what was the problem? You can't exactly remember what the problem was. That's what went through.
But some say there's way more to that story. But Big L wasn't about to back down. After getting dropped by Columbia, he went independent and launched his own label, Flamboyant Entertainment. He started putting in work on his second album, and just when things were about to blow, he caught the eye of Rockefeller co-founder Dame Dash. Dame was reportedly looking to sign Big L and his crew as a group. It was almost go time. Then boom, tragedy hit out of nowhere. Big L was gunned down in a drive-by shooting right in Harlem. The whole thing shook the scene. But here's where it gets real shady. One of Big L's childhood friends, Gerard Woodley, was arrested in connection with the killing, but there wasn't enough evidence to keep him locked up, so he walked.
Tell everybody about Big L, Sean.
Big L?
I would just rather do it on the stand, Sean. Please sue me. I want to go to court. And I want to talk about Big L on the stand.
Wow.
L was the one that put Jay-Z on. Jay-Z was the last person to see Big L alive. His death made it possible for Reasonable Doubt to live.
Whoa.
See how good I keep secrets, Sean?
Fast forward to 2016, Woodley himself was shot and killed in Harlem. To this day, Big L's murder is still unsolved. Now here's where the whispers start. Industry insiders, like Jaguar Wright, have made bold claims, saying Jay-Z might know exactly what went down with Big L. She's even hinted that Jay's silence isn't just suspicious, it's telling. And Big L ain't the only rap legend tied to Jay-Z's name in dark ways. Let's talk about DMX, another giant in the game who passed under very mysterious circumstances after allegedly calling out Jay for sabotaging him.
There was a competitive thing, but it was big love. He was so competitive with me. I never met a human being more competitive with me, like ever, not even my big...
After X died in April 2021, Jay-Z showed up on LeBron's show saying all the right things, claiming there was always love and respect between them. He said even when X had his struggles, the energy was always good. But hardcore DMX fans know that's not the full story.
Like I said, I had the crazy track record, Def Jam, everything was good. You know, I go to do the 6th album, and you know,
Jay-Z became president.
Yeah. You know, when he first got the job, he hit me with the call like, yo, dog, inmates is running the building, like, yo, you good? Finish the album, shoot the video. What happened? Go on vacation and, you know, we don't know. What you mean you don't know? How do you listen to a whole album, pick a single, shoot a video, then don't know?
DMX himself spoke out before his death, accusing Jay of being so obsessed with control and competition that he personally blocked the release of X's 6th album. That's not beef, that's betrayal. Back in 2004, everything shifted when Jay-Z took over as president of Def Jam Records, stepping in after Liar Cohen. And that's when things started going left, especially for DMX. X had been the backbone of Def Jam for years, dropping 5 back-to-back #1 albums between 1998 and 2003. But the second Jay sat in that big chair, X said it all changed.
Okay, I see what's really good. You're trying to eliminate the competition. You know, because at first you retire, you know, then get me off the label, now you're back rapping again. Okay.
DMX claimed that once Jay had the power, he started blocking the release of X's 6th album, Year of the Dog, again. Why? Because according to X, Jay didn't want any real competition standing in the way of his own comeback. Once Jay switched up on his own artist Redman, X said it was clear Jay was clearing the field for himself.
I don't think one man can destroy another man's life. It's ultimately in your own decisions. You know, I had a lot of issues. Like I said, legal issues at the time. And, you know, my mind wasn't where I'm at now today. Like I used to have questions like, why every time my album dropped, Jay would drop right on top. He wouldn't let me breathe or right before me. Like I was always close. And I never understood that every single album that I dropped, Jay dropped right on top. And it was like, damn, like to have in-house competition at that magnitude was crazy. Jay already the boss, but I always thought that, like, let me breathe.
And DMX wasn't the only one who felt that heat. Beanie Sigel got caught in the same mess. Beanie had been climbing fast, dropping fire albums and gaining major momentum as one of Rockefeller's top soldiers. But then, just like that, things started going south. According to Beanie and those close to him, Jay got spooked that Beanie might shine too bright and steal the spotlight. So what happened next? Jay allegedly started blocking Beanie's album releases too.
Beyonce, I was hurt. Because I heard that you said you wouldn't perform unless you won Video of the Year over me and over Hotline Bling. Hey, bro, Jay-Z, I know you got killers. Please don't send them out my head.
And it didn't stop there. Word is, Jay would drop his own albums right around the same time Beanie was set to release his killing the buzz and drowning out his shine. On top of that, Beanie's team claimed Jay only let him press a limited number of records, basically choking his shot before it even dropped. Now, some folks might brush this off as just artists being bitter or pointing fingers. But let's be real. When this many respected names from different circles all start telling the same story about one man, you gotta start asking yourself, is it really just sour grapes? Or is Jay the common denominator in all this silent sabotage? Let's be real. Even Kanye West, who used to call Jay-Z family, eventually flipped the script. After years of loyalty, hinted that things got so tense, he feared Jay might have someone come after him.
They try to suppress you, but that's how they try to categorize.
They can't control me. You get what I'm saying? They can control Shaq. They can control Charles Barkley. They can control LeBron James. They can control Jay-Z and Beyonce.
No, not you, man.
But they can't control me. You see, it ain't no name I won't name. It's up.
That's not just beef, that's paranoia level betrayal. But that didn't stop Kanye from putting it all on the table. He boldly called out both Jay and Beyonce, claiming they're nothing more than industry puppets, doing what they're told to stay in power. Now let's talk Beyonce. The queen of empowerment, right? That's her image. But behind the scenes, there have been multiple allegations that she's been involved in taking down other female artists who were seen as competition.
Where you been, A. Marie?
I've been out in the like the universe.
No, I've been. Talk about your career. Everybody always says A. Marie should have been a superstar because she's pretty, she could dance, she could sing. What?
What do you know what it is? It's timing. Like everything is timing. Like I'm a big believer in.
One of the biggest rumors, her alleged jealousy toward the late Aaliyah. And it wasn't just about Aaliyah's talent or star power, it was personal. Before Jay-Z got with Beyonce, he was reportedly obsessed with Aaliyah. According to Dame Dash, Jay was chasing Aaliyah hard, but she wasn't feeling him like that. Then, out of nowhere, Beyonce entered the picture, and everything changed.
You wanna hold the magazine? Just shout out Juicy Mac.
Jay and Bey went public with their relationship in 2001, just months after Aaliyah's tragic and mysterious plane crash in the Bahamas. Fans still raise eyebrows about the timing because it's just too close. But even after Aaliyah was gone, Beyonce's alleged campaign to push aside the competition didn't stop there. Once she left Destiny's Child and locked in with Jay-Z, more whispers started flying. Word is Beyonce snatched hit producer Rich Harrison away from Amiri, another rising star who was gaining serious attention.
It's the price you pay, when you're early in your career, you feel that you have to listen. And when you buck, they buck harder and they make threats. And those threats are huge ones. And you know what I mean? You don't feel like you have a choice. I really didn't feel like I had a choice. It was do this or this.
If you remember Ameri's 2005 smash One Thing, you know that track had serious heat, and many say it was the blueprint for Beyonce's Crazy in Love. And then there was the whole messy situation with Carrie Hilson, one of the most talked about feuds in Beyonce's history. It all started when Carrie allegedly dropped a diss track aimed at Beyonce. But here's the twist. Carrie later claimed she was pressured into recording it by her own producers who were trying to stir up drama and get her canceled. Carrie denied throwing shade at first, But things got even uglier when she refused to hold a magazine that had Jay-Z and Beyonce on the cover during a red carpet interview.
Beyonce and Jay-Z will do anything to destroy anyone who speaks out against them. Hey, I get the threats, but you have to remember one thing. I know your deepest secrets. I know so much about you and what you've done. I know so much on how you got where you are, how you stepped on many people. Beyonce, how you guys ended Carrie Hilson's career because she said something about it.
That one moment sparked chaos. The Bayhive swarmed her, dragging her online, and according to some reports, well, it even got physical. Fans allegedly confronted her in person, and by 2020, Carrie revealed she had been receiving serious threats over the whole situation. And just when you thought it couldn't get darker, former celebrity bodyguard Uncle Ron, who passed away last November from pneumonia, also spoke up before his death. He claimed Beyonce and Jay-Z deliberately sabotaged artists on their way to the top. He wasn't just talking opinions, he said it like he knew the game from the inside. Let's be real. The list of artists who've allegedly been blackballed, blocked, or flat out erased by the Carters is getting way too long to ignore. There's no way we can fit all those names in one video. And that alone says a lot. Some fans still try to wave it off as jealousy, but when major names like 50 Cent and Eminem are calling them out, this ain't just gossip anymore. It's starting to look like a straight-up pattern. So now we want to hear from you. Do you think this is all just rumor and hate? Or is there some real truth hiding behind all these coincidences? Are Jay-Z and Beyonce really out here eliminating the competition? Drop your thoughts in the comments, we read them all. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with someone who needs to see the truth, and we'll catch you in the next one. Stay tuned.